here is a quick recap in terms of how things have been going with Brexit this week. We started off the week with the Brexiteers demanding that Rishi Sunak do something over the Brexit Northern Ireland Protocol, making open threats that if he doesn't do something, that they will take action. And we know what that's going to be. It will be they will remove Rishi Sunak from office. We then went into the move that, James Cleverly has made good progress. And one of the things we've said since Sunak's come into office, he's actually been quite pragmatic about negotiating with the EU to get these deals done to solve the problems that exist in and around not only just the Northern Ireland Protocol, but the problems going on with the Boris Johnson's oven-ready Brexit deal. So there was good news initially about Brexit with that announcement over the protocol and the data sharing. And it does show that if we are willing to negotiate and to stop this complete messing about, you can actually do things. You can, alleviate the situation that's going on here, and it completely destroys any of the Eurosceptic Brexiteer arguments that they've been making, that we need to completely turn away from the EU, that we can't negotiate them because any negotiation would be seen as capitulation, and that they are doing this to punish us during these negotiations. But this data sharing agreement benefits us both massively in this area. And then, of course, we've had James Cleverly's recent, political, chicanery, where he's been running around pretending to invite sort of Sinn Féin and the SDLP. And then the SDLP and the Sinn Féin have turned around and said, well, actually, no, we weren't even invited to this meeting over important talks in and around the Northern Ireland Protocol. So there is at least a good sign of progress. But the problem is, every single time there is any step forward in some genuine progress that would certainly alleviate the situation, the Brexiteers freak out. Why? Because what this shows and proves is that Europe was always a good partner. It was a good partner to do business with, and we always got on with them quite well. It disproves any notion of what the Brexiteers were saying back in 2016, and even the Eurosceptics, even now, of what they've been proclaiming about the EU for years. It proves them all wrong. But if you can make this good progress, then why aren't we in the EU when we've got all these sort of, agreements that we could do? It, again, will just go to show you how bad Brexit really was. Because the further the Brexiteers try to push us away from the EU, the more damage it causes to the UK. But the closer we are to the EU, the less damage it is. And already, as we've seen from the polls, people are realizing that. And today, I'm really happy that that Starmer has come out and said, yo, Sunak, you need to stand up to those Brexit purity cultists in your party. Because if you don't, they're going to sabotage completely any good relations or anything that we might do with the EU. And of course, we've got two big bills recently going through Parliament at the moment. You've got the EU retained law bill, potentially, that's going to cause a lot of problems. And of course, you've got the Northern Ireland Protocol bill as well, which, if passed, and if those Brexit MPs follow through on their threats to make these changes, it will lead to a trade war, one that they're salivating to have, but it will be one of which we will lose. So we're going to go over Keir Starmer's comments because he's absolutely right. But this idea of Tory leaders standing up to these Eurosceptics goes back years. And it was the fault of successive, Tory party leaders who refused to stand up to these Eurosceptics and take them on that has led to where we are today. Because remember, only was a very tiny minority in the Tory party that really wanted this hardcore style Brexit. But unfortunately, through their influence, through them sort of pushing forward with this, we've ended up where we are now. And we've heard reports going back for years that there are numerous Tory MPs who know that Brexit was a stupid idea, but they're only following through on it because they're so terrified to actually speak out because of the power that unfortunately these Brexit Eurosceptic Tory MPs have within the party. So will Sunak stand up to them? I doubt it, but we'll see what happens. But Starmer is right to sort of call him out on this. But anyway, we're going to go over his comments. But before we do that, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And of course, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, there's the thank you button and the as well. And of course, the Pony Club as well, of course. So yeah, completely forgetting them all today. But yeah, anyway, let's continue with this. Let's crack on with this and get over Starmer's comments because he's absolutely right. This is what any Tory, not only just Sunak, but any Tory leader needs to do if they are to ever help sort out the UK's current economic crises or any crisis, because a lot of them, Brexit is just the foot on the accelerator, making many of these problems just that much worse. So anyway, let's crack on with this. So this comes from The Guardian with the title of Sunak must stand up to Brexit purity cult in Tory party, says Starmer. Keir Starmer is to challenge Rishi Sunak to stand up to the Brexit purity cult of Eurosceptics within the Conservative Party to resolve the Northern Ireland Protocol issue. The Labour leader will use his speech in Belfast on Friday to encourage the Prime Minister to take on the once highly influential European research group of backbench Tory MPs to find and to fix the issues arising from the Northern Ireland Protocol post-Brexit trading agreements. Starmer will say he will offer, quote, political cover at Westminster if Sunak can deliver an agreement with the EU that is in the national interest. And to be honest, this is good. This isn't like Starmer endorsing Brexit. I've seen a lot of people say, oh no, this is just Starmer endorsing Brexit. But the thing is, as we've said before, and we'll say it time and time again, rejoining the EU, going back towards Europe and promoting positive sort of, Europeanness and like pro-EU values should be a shared goal between both Conservative and the Labour Party. It must be a cross-party issue, and that we must stand together and, hold hands in this fight to do this. So if Starmer is actually offering this to try and solve these issues, which is good, I am in favor of this because, to be honest, Sunak will need all the help he can get to try and sort these political issues. And it is in Labour's favour themselves to see these issues resolved as well, because it also goes to show that they are right and that Starmer would make a good Prime Minister. So it's actually a massive plus for Starmer to do this. But anyway, he continues to say, so he said, the time for action on the protocol is now. The time to stand up to the ERG is now, Starmer will say on Friday. Time to put the Northern Ireland above a Brexit purity cult, which can never be satisfied, is now. Exactly. We've seen this for years, going even back before the referendum. These guys are an absolute cult. They can never be satisfied because, as we've said time and time and time again, Brexit is never, ever enough for these guys. Ever enough. There is a small window of opportunity to resolve this issue before the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement in April, Starmer will say at the Queen's University. We've got to use the anniversary to fix minds and get the country and its political processes moving again. Deliver for the people of Northern Ireland, he will say. But any deal seen as conceding too much to Brussels could trigger a revolt on the Tory benches. But Starmer will say he will offer Labour support to Sunak, which again is good because you need to solve these issues regardless. So this will actually be a good step in the right direction. And it will deliver a defeat to those, Eurosceptics that we all pretty much don't like on this channel. So that will be quite good. So he went on to say, whatever political cover you need, whatever mechanism in Westminster you require, if it delivers for our national interest and the people of Northern Ireland, we will support you, he will say. The Labour leader will call on the Prime Minister to recognise the mistakes made by Tory ministers who have viewed the Irish government as adversaries on Brexit. Yes, this is the type of political change and certainly international change we need on this. We cannot view any European government or even the EU as an adversary. That is something we must defeat. So this is why I've said this is so crucial to Starmer offering that support. He goes on to say that this damage of the political process here in Northern Ireland is of no question, and it's certainly not in the spirit of 1998. The Northern Ireland Protocol was agreed by the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson to avoid a hard border in Ireland, but the DUP is refusing to engage with power-sharing institutions until it is dramatically altered or removed. Unionists who oppose the trade barriers is created between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK. Starmer's speech comes after the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has criticised the government's denial and avoidance of the immense damage Brexit was doing to the country. Good. We actually haven't covered this because there's been a ton of other stuff, but to be honest, Sadiq Khan's speech was, I think, very, very much needed. And I've said before, I think we will start to see more and more politicians start to speak out about the damage Brexit is doing. In a speech to the London House Mansion, the government dinner on Thursday, Khan argued for a shift away from the unnecessarily hardline version of Brexit towards greater alignment with Europe, which is what we want. we want this. This hardline version of Brexit only damages the UK. If you go towards the alignment with Europe, then this starts the question and this starts the path to rejoining. The more we align with Europe, the less reason there is for us to not be in the single market or the customs union. And then once you're in there, why not just be a full EU member? So, as we've always said, the path back to Europe was pretty much laid out to us before. It was just a matter of time to how this all happens. The mayor said, I simply cannot keep quiet about the immense damage Brexit is doing. Ministers seem to have developed a selective amnesia when it comes to one of the root causes of our problems. Brexit can't be airbrushed out of history or the consequences wished away. Yes. Fantastic. I love that. And I really do hope we start to see more of this. And it's also worth pointing out that Sadiq Khan's time as London mayor is probably coming to an end. In when's the next mayoral election? I think it's a couple of years away now. But I do not see Sadiq Khan standing again to be London mayor. What I do see happening is him joining and standing as a Labour MP. And I think once he stands as a Labour MP, he will then start to push that, hey, Brexit has been an absolute disaster. It has been an absolute, catastrophe for the country. That will be good. And this all fills into what we've been talking for so long, Starmer's strategy on Brexit. What you do is this. You make Brexit work as best as you can. Because we know that, We've said before, you can do deals, you can do bits and pieces, but it doesn't fix everything. So what Starmer will do is he will sort the UK, because the last thing you want is this betrayal narrative. That's what Starmer's trying to avoid. Because if you head off that argument before it can even start and say, look, we have done everything in our power to try and make Brexit work. This is Brexit. This is as best as it is ever going to be. Time to rethink Brexit. That is the strategy. You have to show people that this is Brexit. This is as good as it's ever going to be. That's what it was like when we were in the EU, when we were in the single market, when we were in the customs union. That's how good we had it. This is what it's like now. It's never ever going to be as good. Even if Starmer again makes Brexit work, it will only fix like very small things, but it won't solve the overall problems that we are facing until we fully reverse, certainly, Brexit fully. And even then, as we've said, many of the UK's problems were not caused by the EU. They were caused by here in the UK by 12 years of Tory austerity. But anyway, that's, as you said, that's a conversation for another time, but we've had that many times on the channel before, but I'm sure we'll be having it again very, very soon. So to be honest, this is again a good step in the right direction. I think Starmer is right to offer this support, to stand up to the Brexit hardliners, because I'll tell you what now, I'll tell you this now. If Jeremy Corbyn had offered the same thing to Theresa May, to say, hey, we're going to help you out. We're going to make sure that these Brexit hardline purist fundamentalists don't get to push this hardcore version, her deal potentially may have passed. It may have passed muster. And certainly her version of sort of the Northern Ireland Protocol and the whole backstop wouldn't be causing the kind of issues we see now. That's for sure. But again, of course, the backstop would have kept us all in the single market and customs union. So, hey, I'm not complaining. But again, that's ancient history, of course. Like I said, we've always got to look forward. So I think this is a good step in the right direction. I really do think this is a step in the right direction for this. But like I say, let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think what Starmer is doing here right? Is it right for him to offer support to Rishi Sunak to essentially get this sort of Brexit deal done in the national interest? Forget party loyalty or anything like that. This is all about in the national interest and to help the people in Northern Ireland to essentially reform their government again, because the DUP are not happy. But then again, I think even if they do a deal, I think they'll still prove just to be not happy. But there you go. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and our information book. We can all do the fantastic stuff. But as always, guys, like I say, thank you very much for watching. And of course, we'll see you all next time.